Back at their table in the team concourse, John took a selfie with Georgia holding her drone and posted it to his Facebook and the @DronePack Twitter account. Tearful dad with my #1 pilot, qualified for final of Rage Cola Classic. Don't you dare tag me, Georgia warned. I get enough stick for being a geek without everyone at school knowing I spent half-term wearing this atrocious bowling shirt. Gotta love teenagers, John laughed, looking at his brother and shaking his head. When Georgia won her first league race, she took her trophy into primary school and was made up when the headmistress asked her to fly in morning assembly. Dad, Georgia moaned, covering her face. Embarrassing me isn't compulsory. Does that mean you don't want me to forward the nice pic with daddykins for your Instagram? For all of my 7 followers? Georgia asked grumpily. As Steve, John, and Phil started packing up for the day, Georgia remembered she'd turned her phone off before the race. After booting up, she got a ping from Messenger and took a couple of seconds to recognize the face. It was Tasha from primary school. But she'd gone punk since Georgia last saw her. Georgia opened the message. I know it's been ages, and I wish I'd done more to stay in touch. You poss remember my mum is an X-ray technician at Park Hospital where your sister worked. She heard what happened to Sophie this morning and came home crying. I'm sad too, and wanted to say, I'm still your friend, and here for you any way I can be. After that came a bunch of kisses and heart emojis. Georgia's 24-year-old sister Sophie was a junior doctor at Park Hospital. She'd been suspended 2 months earlier after a patient received a fatal dose of medication. Since Tasha's mum worked at the same hospital, Georgia's best guess was that she'd heard bad news about the investigation before anyone else. But Tasha's mum barely knew Sophie, so why would she come home in tears? Sophie lived with her phone in her hands, so Georgia closed Tasha's message and switched to her last messenger conversation with her sister. Sophie Pack, last online 16 hours ago. That seemed very wrong. Georgia called Sophie, but got no answer on Facebook, and her mobile went to voicemail. Georgia had been with her dad all day, so there was no way he'd know anything. She scrolled down to Mum Mobile in her phone book and shuddered. Georgia hadn't spoken to her mum in weeks. Their last conversation ended with, You take your father's side no matter what I said or did. You've always been Daddy's girl, before she'd stormed off to her car. But Tasha's weird message and Sophie not being online for 16 hours was scarier than the prospect of speaking to her mum. She answered right away. Georgia, honey, Rachel Pack said, sounding tense but weirdly gentle. How's it going up there? Georgia ignored the question. Mum, I'm worried about Sophie. Do you remember my old friend Tasha? I got this weird message about Sophie and she's not been online since late last night. I was waiting for you at home, Georgia's mum explained. I still have my house key. I didn't want to tell you over the phone, but I guess you can't keep news off the internet. Tell me what? Georgia asked, her free hand making a tense fist. You'd better put your dad on. Mum, what the bloody hell happened? Georgia demanded, loud enough for her dad and uncle to look around. Honey, she answered, her voice wavering. Dad's busy, Georgia said firmly. I'm not a kid anymore. There was a pause. Georgia felt tears in her eyes, knowing it was terrible. John came over and asked what was happening, but Georgia shushed him. Mum, are you there?